guys, today I'm going to read Superfrog and the Big Stink by Michael Foreman. Frank the Frog was dangling his toes in the pond and reading his comic. He was enjoying the sunshine and a story about one of his favourite superheroes who was saving the world again. Suddenly something bumped against his foot. It was an old tin can. It was rather smelly, and it made an oily trail across the surface of the pond. Frank looked further back and saw the oily trail came from a little stream that trickled into the pond. Bobbing down the stream were more bits of rubbish. Frank followed the stream back through a little wood and hopped to the top of a hill. A vast landscape stretched before him. He could see the stream join a wide, winding river that led to a distant city shrouded in grey cloud. More and more rubbish was flowing from the river into the stream and on towards the pond. When he returned, some of the younger frogs and older folk were being helped onto the bank and were looking even more green than usual. The people of Pond City, with the help of the badgers and moles, started to build a barrier to channel the smelly stream away from the pond. But Frank knew more help was needed. "This is a job for Superfrog," said Frank. He breathed in and in until he was 3 times his normal size. Suddenly he let all his air out of his bum and flew jet-propelled like a superhero up into the air towards the city. It was a grey world. Vast dumps of scrap and stinking rubbish covered the landscape. Leaking pipes fed dank, poisonous lakes. The people living there were amazed to see Superfrog bounding over the dumps. The children cheered and ran after Superfrog into the centre of the city. Every time Frank farted and flew, the children cheered. By now, a TV helicopter was following them, filming the ever-growing army of children. Frank led them to the tallest tower, all glass and shiny silver steel, higher than the dark, smoky clouds which covered the city. They swept through the great glass doors and up the gleaming escalators, floor after floor, to the very top. The security guards could do nothing to stop this frog-led flood of children. Finally, they burst into an enormous hall, and behind a gold desk sat a tiny man. "What do you want?" he said in a little voice. "Stop spoiling my pond!" shouted Frank. "And stop spoiling our city!" shouted a little girl. "Stop spoiling our world!" they all shouted. The little man climbed on his chair to make himself look bigger. "And what if I don't?" he asked. Frank puffed himself up and said, "If you don't, I will blow you away." And with that he turned around and pointed his bum at the little man. The little man picked up a golden telephone. "Mend the leaking pipes," he said. "Clean up the river and recycle all the rubbish immediately." As Frank left the city, teams of workmen were already mending pipes and cleaning up the river. "Hooray!" cried the children. 3 cheers for Superfrog. When Frank arrived home, he found the citizens of Pond City giving their streets and buildings a spring clean. Soon he could dangle his toes in the clean water and read his superhero comics again. From time to time, however, he hopped up to the top of the hill to keep an eye on the river and the faraway city, which was no longer quite so grey. The end.